Let us discuss the good practices for requirement engineering from the specification point of view. So the essence of requirement specification is to document the requirements of different types in a consistent, accessible and reviewable way that is readily understandable by the uh, audiences or the stakeholders. Now you can record the business requirement in the vision and scope document. User requirements typically are represented in the form of use cases or user stories. Detailed software functional or non-functional requirements are recorded in a software requirement specification document or SRS document. Now, it can also be stored in some alternative repository such as requirement management tools. So the first best practice from specification point of view is to adopt requirement document templates. So to adopt standard templates for documenting requirements in your organization, such as the vision and scope document template, the use case template, and the SRS template. The templates provide a consistent structure for recording various groups of requirements related information. Even if you don't store the requirements in traditional document format, the templates will remind you of the various kinds of requirements information to explore and record. The next good practice is to identify the requirement origins. So to ensure that all the stakeholders know why every requirement is needed, trace each one back to its origin. So identify the requirement origin. This might be a use case or some other customer input or a high level system requirement, or it can be a business rule. So the recording the stakeholders who are affected by each requirement tells you whom to contact, and when a change is requested, you can get the inputs from them. Requirements origins can be identified through tracing the links or by defining the requirement attributes for this purpose. The next good practice is to uniquely label each requirement. So you can define a convention for giving each requirement a unique identifying label. So the convention must be robust enough to withstand additions, deletions, and the changes made in the requirements over the time. Now this labeling of the requirements permits the requirement traceability and the recording of the changes which are made to the requirements. The next good practice is to record the business rules. The business rules include corporate policies, government regulations, standards, or computational algorithms, or any data which is important for the business. So document your business rules separately from a project's requirements, because they typically have an existence beyond the scope of any specific project. So business rules are or will be common to all the projects which are happening in your organization. That is, you can treat the business rules as an enterprise level asset, not a project level asset. Now some rules will lead to the functional requirements which can be enforced. So define the traceability links between those requirements and the corresponding rules. The last good practice in this from the specification point of view is to specify the non-functional requirements. Now it is possible to implement a solution that does exactly what it is supposed to do, but does not satisfy the user's quality expectation. So implementation is good, but the expectations are not matching from the quality standards. So to avoid that problem, you need to go beyond the functionality discussion and to understand the quality characteristics which are important to the success of the project. Now these characteristics include performance, reliability, usability, modifiability, and many other such parameters. Customer input on the relative importance of these quality attributes, lets the developer make the appropriate design decisions. Also, you can specify the external interface requirements, which can be in terms of design and implementation constraints or internationalization issues or any other non-functional requirements. So these are a few of the good practices from the specification point of view.